Hello, and in this video I'm making a construction site build sort of thing. This is a very quick video. I got the idea from someone posting on Reddit. They posted a Italian mob casino build, and I had been thinking about making a construction site ever since I've seen the new construction props that have been put on the workshop, which are to create prefab small American houses. I did think that that could be a decent way to build a bigger building if stacked upon one another. And it turned out to look quite nice. It probably would have turned out a bit better if I had stacked some of the stuff up better, but I don't know, I was just doing this as a test and it turned out a lot better than I thought it would. So I left it as it was. So obviously you'll be able to see by some of the screenshots and some of the cinematics that it just doesn't really make sense, some of the levels, and some of the levels aren't supported, and it could have been done better. I may do one in the future better, but I would like to find some scaffold props that are quite big, so that I could have scaffolding up the sides, because as it was currently there is no scaffolding props that I like on the workshop. I'm pretty sure there are scaffolding props. I've used them in the past, but they're not very big. They're a bit small for my liking, for what I want, because I want to build like a big building like this, which is like a skyscraper build. Well, it's not really a skyscraper, I suppose. It's more like 10 stories. Is that classed as a skyscraper? I don't know. Don't know when a skyscraper starts, like what height it has to be. So I just go through placing these big pillars to act as the main supports, and then I add some separations that have been added into the building underneath just to give it some texture, I suppose. I go through adding concrete and these wire mesh. They're not really wire mesh, I suppose they're concrete floors that haven't had the concrete poured on them yet. So that's what those are, and just to add some difference in look to it. Otherwise it would all be the same block and it would look a bit boring, I would think. I just add several floors to the basement area, because this is all, at the moment, this is all below ground level. Because I use strict toasters seawalls around the build just to hold everything in and make it like that's the area. They're a bit big, I mean, but there's not much I could do about that. That's just the size they are. No one's made a very thin concrete wall that can be placed anywhere. It would be nice to have such a thing, like a very thin wall that can be placed anywhere, and that could be used as, say, just a wall against something, against some earth or something, to hold up a bank of earth. Or, I mean, Ronix came up with a highway embankment asset recently, which is I've always wanted something like that, which is great, but I would like also this is my wish list. I would like a just a solid wall which is very thin, like as thin as these levels are, but instead of being horizontal, I want them to be vertical, and to be placed anywhere, to be sunk into the ground as far as I want, and just raised and lowered, whatever. It would be great, because it would just add so much to areas where you can't really add much. The only thing you'd add is like a key, which is like the thinnest wall block we have, sort of thing. But they're still very thick and also a pain to work with, because they manipulate the terrain and they mess up, and they're just annoying. I just go through finishing up the corners of the build, adding more structural integrity to the build, trying to line up the sides a bit better, because I didn't place it exactly right. And since I didn't place it exactly right, that made my life 100 times harder, because I didn't really know what what was going on with this odd shapes and stuff, but in the end I made it look reasonably straight aligned to everything else, so it could still look like it was a building under construction. Because I suppose a building under construction doesn't look aligned correctly. Maybe that's why this works all right. But as you can see here, this is there's some massive like off lines, and the main pillars don't line up, and it was a bit. It was just a test build, but it ended up working out so well that I put it in a video. So maybe in the future I'll do something different. I could do like a better construction bridge that I did recently with these props. Just the raw bridge itself. I could do that. I have also been thinking about doing maybe a dry dock, and then I could maybe build a ship under construction in the dry dock with these. I'm not sure if that would work though. Maybe I can find some assets on the workshop that are like boat parts. Like all I really would need would be hull pieces, and maybe like some partly constructed hull pieces or something. I don't know. I'll look on the workshop to see if there's any half decent assets to fill in the area. So here I am, just adding a small fence around the build. This is one of the sort of construction fences that I have, and I go through in the center, just adding props, adding like construction equipment, containers, not workplaces, but like offices, like these work offices where the site manager would be, and I had some of these concrete mixers just in places around the place, and obviously with Move It you can lift everything and place them in different like heights and orientations. You can place them on top of things. I also go through and add pipes to the cranes, so it looks like they're doing something, because otherwise they just ain't. They're just there. It would be nice if the cranes could move. I don't think it's possible because animations in City Skylines are not possible at this moment with stuff, but it would be cool to have a asset that moved like a crane, but I don't think that's possible. Maybe it could be a vehicle, but then it would drive everywhere. I don't know. These lifts, I put one in the center, and I liked the way that the red like contrasted with the rest of it. So that one lift is the main lift, and then these other side ones are just like scaffolding, just holding things up. And I think they add a bit of just variation in what it looks like, because otherwise it just looked too similar. So they turned out to look quite nice. So I'll just go through and add some more props, add the gateway and the exit. So that's about it for the detailing. I'm going to leave it here. There's a bit more detailing, there's a bit of cinematics at the end just showing off a bit more of the build, but you probably saw enough of it at the start because this build is a very, very small build. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.